The expansion of primordial Buddhism, Homo, which should take place incessantly. Namyo Horende. In front of the Homon's only to respect and veneration. We pray for the expansion of Homo, which should forward the peace and for the sound health of our mind. May we progress in your faith and in your practice. May we be capable of accomplishing our bodhisattva works. Out of the works, may we experience the benefits and become a vehicle of propagation. May this alcohol and the sacred teachings be united in mind, although separate in body. We pray for the preservation of the environment, for the solidarity of the beings, and for the realization of one conversion by faithful propagation by the Nepal and around the world. We pray for the great progress in Buddhist education and studies. We pray for the encouragement of the religious heritage. And especially HBS Nepal would like to pray for safety and successful open Japan for Ribbon Suba Kanno we would like to pray for fast and easy health recovery for Kadaka Seiji Winiko Heya Shanti Maya Tamangina Kumari Gurum Yasunida Halen Bikastapa Kanno Dokyo we pray that Namumyo Orendekyo cause essence and the seed of enlightenment contained the first 8 chapters of the primordial path of the Lotus Sutra, transmitted by the Jogyo was In front of the Gohon Zone with respect and veneration. We pray for the progress and expansion of the group of faithful establishing in Nepal. We pray for health and devotion to the practice of faith and focus, elimination of the negative karma and the prosperity of all participants in today's studies. We pray for the fastest eradication of the coronavirus to all those who are remain affected. We pray for the progress of the mystic relationship with the Buddha and the meeting with the true secret Dharma, the elimination of the negative karma for the health and the protection of all mortal Buddhism, that everyone realizes the Hoku in accordance with the Buddhist teaching. We pray for the recovery of all the sick and for the fulfillment of all the prayers of all participants in today's session. Now we are holding the morning study session in front of the Mohon Zone at HBS, Nepal, Kathmandu. We pray for health and devotion to the practice of faith and Gohokos, elimination of the negative karma and the prosperity of all participants in today's session. Many who are suffering from illness have their sickness cured immediately, and the many who are praying for overcoming sufferings and the troubles have the protection and the blessing of the Gohon. And especially in front of the Gohon Zone to the Manida Hall, we would like to pray for fast and easy health recovery of Winnie Koheya Kanmodo Kyo. Winnie Koheya would like to pray for the fulfillment of the confidential wish. Kanmodo Kyo. With respect and veneration of our prayers to all the late masters and the monks, faithful and your relatives of the home tradition, and especially we would like to pray for the soul of the great master Nipak Shoni. Onitsu Menichi Daiji Dai Hidayon. With respect and veneration, we offer prayers to all souls who have died in disasters, epidemics, and the armed conflicts around the world, especially to all those deceased in the Nepal earthquake and all those deceased by the new coronavirus. Myoho Kyoriki Tsuzamoda. We offer prayers to all souls inscribed in the posthumous purple book of the Noshi Temple, HBS Nepal Center, and to deceased ancestors of all participants in today's session, and all to deceased today, and especially for Obarakira, Myoho Kyoriki Tsuzamoda. And especially in front of the homes on Winnie Koheya, we would like to pray for the soul of Teruko Noguchi Honjitsu Menichi Daiji Dai Hidayon. Through the prayers of the Namyo Horeniko, we pray that all souls intensify their lights and they reach their greatest degree of happiness and be led to enlightenment. Myoho Kyoriki Tsuzamoda. And especially in front of the home zone, Mr. Ishor Tapaya would like to make a donation of flowers to HBS Nepal. May he receive infinity merits, eliminate the bad karmas, and obtain the benefits. Daiji Dai Hidayon. For all the participants and people doing the Hoku today, we pray one by one for the elimination of the bad karmas and the great progress in the faith. With respect and veneration. We pray for the progress and expansion of the group of faith we establish in Nepal. We pray for health and devotion to the practice of faith and hopeless elimination of the negative karma and the prosperity of all participants in relation. We pray for the fast eradication of the coronavirus to all those who are infirm and affected. We pray for the progress of the mystic relationship with the Buddha and the meeting with the true secret Dharma, the elimination of the negative karma, full health, and the protection of all primordial Buddhism. That everyone realizes to go in accordance with the Buddhist intention. We pray for the recovery of all the sick, for the fulfillment of all the prayers of all participants in the this session. With respect and veneration of our prayers to all the latent masters and the monks, faithful and the relatives of the Homo with respect and veneration of our prayers to all souls who have been dying in disasters, epidemics, and the armed conflicts around the world, especially to all the deceased in the Nepal earthquake, and all the deceased by the new coronavirus. We offer prayers to all souls, inscribed in the posthumous purport book of the Myoshiri Temple, HBS Nepal Center, and to deceased ancestors of all participants in today's session, and out to deceased today, and especially for Obarakira, Myoho, Kyoriki, Suizan Mother, for all the participants and people doing Gohoku today. We pray one by one for the elimination of the Vedic karmas in the great progress in the
りがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。Thank you everyone for the morning Shanti session here at Kathmandu Center. Thank the people who watch us online in this morning Shanti session. April 4th, Nipak Shoni, the founder of Myoshinji. Who started Myoshinji, our mother temple there in Japan. To see one person can do big difference, if you do the Goku now in the future, this result come, same as we are doing here, looks small, but in the future will be big if we keep doing properly as teaching everything. After 4 days is Buddha birthday, Buddha Jayanti, I don't know if it's Buddha Jayanti. I don't know how the people celebrate here, but we in HBS we do the chant, we celebrate it, and because it's from where everything started. If Buddha didn't born, Shakyamuni Siddhartha Gautama, Shakyamuni Buddha. If he didn't born here, we're not in here chanting. Nobody was here. So it started from here. He teach the way of the enlightenment. We can't forget this gratitude, and we remember this gratitude by chanting. So on April 8th, everyone please, let's try to come to the temple and offer your gratitude for Buddha. Basically, is this. Tomorrow it's Saturday. Everyone who can come to participate with the family, come. These days the kids don't have a school, it's holiday. The adults they have a work, but when you have time to come to bring you with your kids, everyone, please always come to visit here. Basically, is this. アジアでデリダミバ、ありがとうございます。